You've dropped 17 points this season from winning positions at home. Bro, that is actually unacceptable. That is your biggest problem, because even if you address that, you're top of the league.
Now we really are coming up to crunch time. Up until the end of the season, you stated verbatim, Neil, this is the most disgusting run you've ever seen. Can Chelsea make Champions League football?
This is the key question, the killer question, and we're going to end on that, right?
Guys, Chelsea season review so far. This season for Chelsea Football Club up right now is the 22nd of February. It's been the most inconsistent season for Chelsea so far. A lot of changes, a lot of signings that were made in the summer. We'll go through them. João Pedro, 55 million. Jamie Gittins, 60 million. Alejandro Garnacho, 52 million. Hato, 40 million. Liam Delap, 43 million. That Chelsea have spent a lot of money on a lot of these types of players, which, as we already know, has not worked out well. There's also been huge changes in regards to the management. Enzo Maresca left on literally the 1st of January in the new year. Chelsea have appointed Liam Rossiniar, an absolute nobody, and damn right is absolute nobody, because managing Strasbourg and Hull City and does not really mean that anyone can qualify to manage a club of Chelsea's size. So there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of terrible performances, some really impressive performances, and we're going to be discussing that today. Neil, Chelsea season so far, before we actually get into it, what's your initial thoughts in general?
Bro, before I give you that, yeah, you mentioned money. I want to equalize that and just take money off the table. Do you know why I want to take money off the table? Every club spends, yeah, in the last 12 months, and it's not me sticking up for Chelsea. I'm just saying, in the last 12 months, Man City spent $500 million. In the summer gone, Liverpool have spent $500 million in the summer, yeah, and let's not get it twisted. They're behind you, 3 points behind. Okay, game in hand, but they're not guaranteed to win that game. So you can talk about Garnacho and all these signings. And by the way, João Pedro, the signing, I think, is actually it's starting to work out in a weird way. He's scoring a lot of goals. So
you think Chelsea are in a good position?
No. Now, I want to caveat that. I just want to take money off the table, because us as Arsenal, we've spent a lot of money. Chelsea spent a lot of money. Liverpool spent a lot of money. Man City. We're all spending money. The most money in the world in terms of football leagues is in the Premier League, right? It means it's the best league in the world. And even clubs all the way throughout our division have money to spend. Yeah. We've seen lower table teams back in the day that wouldn't be able to make big money signings. Now they are making big money signings, right? So that is what it is. Now, Chelsea's season so far, when we first started the season, when the season first started and we went through your first 6 games, we said at that point, you had less points than you should have done. And so now you're almost playing catch up. And it feels like you've consistently played catch up, apart from the time when you got to just before you played us at Stamford Bridge. You were second in the league and you built up a bit of momentum. Apart from that, it feels like you've just constantly been playing catch up. And now, just when you were building a bit of steam, bit of momentum, Rossiniar, 3-4 wins in a row, you're now coming off back-to-back draws, the latest one against Burnley at home. It's a start season. It's not what I expect from Chelsea in terms of levels of where you should be at. And I think there's a number of reasons for this. Managerial change, absolutely. But notwithstanding that, there's not enough consistency for me in Chelsea's play. Under Maresca, it was 2 paces, either really fucking going at it or kind of just slow drivel, right? And there was no in between. Game management wasn't as good. Red cards have cost you a lot. But the big thing I want to highlight to you, Mark, before I throw it back to you, the biggest reason why your season is stuttering, in my opinion, is the amount of dropped points from winning positions. I think even from at Stamford Bridge. I've read something, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. You've dropped 17 points this season from winning positions at home. At home? Bro, that is actually unacceptable, that is your biggest problem. Because even if you address that, you're top of the league. Easier said than done.
Look, I would unravel that a little bit more in terms of why I think that the teams are so inconsistent. And I really just put it down to how young the squad is and how immature it is. If you have such a young squad, of course they're going to make tons of mistakes. I think the biggest thing which I've seen, even through Rossiniar's new appointment, is Chelsea's main problem, and it's not just this season, it's last season, it's the season before, pretty much since BlueCo took over, is that signing up so many kids, okay, they don't have they can't focus and concentrate for the full 90 minutes. I think this is the biggest problem when you have a bunch of kids. I'll take the game, not the last game, the game against Leeds, right? We were 2-0 up. The first 70 minutes was some of the most scintillating football I've seen Chelsea play all season. One of the best performances. After 70 minutes, you can see it's a loss of concentration, which is what got Leeds back into the game. Even the game against Burnley that has just gone by, it was a lack of concentration. And this is a huge problem about why you can't, if you really want to, challenge for major honours, you need to have a sprinkle of experience. Plus this sprinkle of experience, you get these young players, they have a role model to look up to, they can learn off this experienced player. This strategy of BlueCo, it doesn't work. You can't just take the strategy from the American football and Moneyball and implement it into the Premier League. I mean, think about it, BlueCo. What other team in world football has your strategy? None. And there is a reason for that. If you want to challenge, you need to have experience. Young players cannot just do it. They can't concentrate. They haven't got enough experience to do this. And that for me is the main reason why I see so much inconsistency in the team. People are going to say, and it makes sense, people are going to say, oh yeah, against the teams that you should be beating, for example, the first 6 games against, and plus teams against the games against Burnley, the games against Leeds, these are games that we should be winning. But we are not. But we play well, and we're up for it when we play like the bigger teams. This is the main problem which I have with Chelsea. It's that's why I think someone said that I was watching a podcast on Judge Mo yesterday, and it was like the problem with Chelsea is that you guys signing too many young players. Okay, that's fine. What do you think about what I just said, Neil? Do you think that that's the reason why Chelsea will always be, the ceiling will always be top 4, top 5?
Yeah, look, the strategy looks like you're not going for a league title. I think we said this at the start of the season or earlier part of the season. The strategy doesn't look like the right one to go and try and win a title. Yes, you're signing a lot of young potential. The thing is, if we play devil's advocate and you sign a lot of young potential, but you're actually building around them and you're looking to be in a position to try and win the league in 2-3 years, then that's different, right? But I'm not sure that is going to be the BlueCo strategy, and that's where the worry lies. So there are reasons though, Mark, because I tell you what, maybe you would be further up the table if, and we're talking about, having kids and this and that and whatever, but dropping 17 points from winning positions at Stamford Bridge, it isn't just one or two things that have made you do that. It's a combination of things, right? But the other issue that you've had this year is you've had 9 red cards. You've had 9.
Don't try it.
Have you? I think. Okay, fine. I'm sorry. 8 red cards, right? 6 in the Premier League, right? And the problem that you've got. Do you remember when you played us and Caicedo got sent off? Now,
yes.
What that cost you was actually what it cost you in the next couple of games. You dropped points the game after. I think you went away to Leeds and got beaten, and obviously Caicedo missed that game. I could be wrong on that. But you dropped points after that.
I think it's Newcastle.
Potentially, yeah. Okay, you'll know better than me. So Caicedo going off, again, it's not so much, okay, you lose that person in that current game,
It's a ripple effect.
Exactly, bro. And even just look now, man. This is, okay, I'm not even under Maresca, now under Rossiniar. Fofana gets sent off. Guess what game he misses?
The Arsenal game.
Exactly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The Arsenal game.
You've got no.
And I
you've
class
got
him
no
as one
Levi
of our best
Colville.
defenders.
Exactly. You've got no Levi Colville, right? So Fofana's key, and now he gets sent off. Not only after he gets sent off, do Burnley snatch a point? So you drop points in that current game. You're now travelling to the Emirates without Fofana. This is, and this is the problem that you're consistently seeing, is that your team is constantly being affected and fought through forced changes. Caicedo picks up more yellow cards. So then what game does he miss? He misses Man City away. Now, you manage to nick a point. But notwithstanding that, that is a real problem. How can you ever build up momentum? It's always going to be stop, right? It's just
No, but
too much ill discipline.
This is right. It's discipline, but I also still wrap that up with the team being so young and being being not experienced enough to go into channels, how to manage a game. This is, I think, Rossiniar's biggest problem. I mean, he's won 8 of his last 12 games, a few draws in there, a couple of losses against Arsenal. That's fine, because Arsenal's supposed to be the best team, and yeah, that's fine. But I like the way that it's hard to say this because the last couple of games, the last game especially against Burnley, Chelsea did not play well. They did not seem up for it. But during his tenure so far, like I am gravitating and starting to like Liam Rossiniar. And there's a few points. Like I like the. I am. And do you know what it is? I think it's based on what the feedback from the players that have worked with him since he took over. They're basically saying he's a lot more approachable. They're saying that we can have a joke with him. They're saying that we can. We feel the system is very similar to Maresca's, but it's not so rigid. Players like Cole Palmer are coming out into the press and they're saying, "Oh, I have the ability to express myself. I don't feel so confined." Players enjoy working with Rossiniar. His record is pretty good when you look at things since he's taken over. He's been nominated Manager of the Month because he's won quite a few games in the Premier League. These are good signs. I get it. He hasn't got experience. Yes, he's just a gutter man and they picked him up and he's now officially a yes man. But in all things considered, I don't think Chelsea can actually get a world-class coach. I don't think any top like Luis Enrique will never come down to Chelsea. I mean, he got interviewed, right? And all Chelsea fans were excited. Oh my God, Luis Enrique is down at Stamford Bridge. This is a great sign. And he's like, I don't want to work here because I've got no control. I'm not just a coach. I'm a manager coach. So we can't get a quality manager, an experienced manager that wants to come to Chelsea. They don't want to be yes man. So if you're not going to do that, Rossiniar looks like the best choice so far. But saying that, it's clearly noted, and he said it himself, if he doesn't make top 4 or Champions League football, which Chelsea need, he's gone. Chelsea need Champions League football for the money and plus to keep the players happy, because Chelsea's strategy is salary plus bonus. Bonus means bonus money from the Champions League. These players are getting more experience. They're becoming better and better. Players like Caicedo, Enzo Fernández, Reece James, Cole Palmer, they want to be paid what they're worth. And if they're not going to do that, and Chelsea don't make Champions League, and Chelsea don't pay them what they're supposed to be paid, we could be seeing a massive exodus in the summer, which now leads me on to the next point. Initially, you talked about the first 6-7 games, about Chelsea should be winning those games, and we should be, and we dropped so many points. Now we really are coming up to crunch time, because you yourself, and the main thing you point out is look at Chelsea's run now up until the end of the season. You stated verbatim, Neil, this is the most disgusting run you've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd stand by it.
It's disgusting. So I know it is. No one can deny it. It looks, and we dropped points against Burnley. We should have won that. now is crunch time. Yes, we play better against the good teams. So tell me now, with all the freaking games, let me pull it up. But whilst I'm doing that, tell me about how you think the next games are gonna go. Tell me, ultimately, can Chelsea make Champions League football?
I'm going to ask you that, and guys, stay tuned for Mark's response on this in terms of, are you going to make Champions League football? Because this is the key question, the killer question, and we're going to end on that, right? But I just want to, and I don't want to harp on about it. I just picked up on a couple of things that you said, Mark. I do agree with you on the whole, but I just want to pressure test something that you said. You said you take the whole red card thing in amongst what you said, your previous point, hiring a lot of inexperience and buying a lot of inexperience and having an inexperienced manager now as well, potentially.
He'll make mistakes as well, yeah.
I just want to point out though, dude, I've just researched it, right? Robert Sanchez got sent off against United, right? It's the fastest ever Chelsea red card in Premier League history. He's 28 years old. Mark Cucurella red card, 27. Trevor Chalobah, 26. Wesley Fofana, 25. Caicedo is going to be 25 soon. João Pedro is 24. Liam Delap, 23. Malo Gusto, 22. A lot of these people that are getting sent off, a lot of these players getting sent off aren't actually kids, Mark. I do think there's a deeper rooted issue here. Maybe we talk about it as time goes on. I don't know, but I've never seen this. You've sustained a level of red cards and ill discipline throughout the whole season so far, and it's costing you big time. And these players are old. Some of them, they're old enough, Mark. Sanchez is 28 years old. What's he doing? Cucurella's 27.
Fair enough.
So look.
No, you make a fair point.
Let's go through
but before we go into it, But before we go into it, then, I still would put it down as a collective that the whole team is very young and it affects even these experienced players. That could be the reason why we have this discipline problem. But then, why do you think Chelsea have a disciplinary problem?
It's a great question. When Maresca was there, and don't forget, Maresca was your 9th red card, by the way, that I referenced. So he got sent off, and I was actually looking at Maresca. What is he doing? I'm always like, attitude reflects leadership, right? It goes top down. So if that's the case, then I was looking at Maresca. But now you got Fofana picking up a red card. And it's actually very difficult to pinpoint what's happening. I think if you actually break down the red cards, a lot of them aren't nasty, horrific challenges. A lot of them could be like, the Caicedo one was a rush of blood to the head. But there's other ones where it's like professional fouls, like Chalobah had to make a last-ditch tackle. And then actually it's you getting caught out, which is then you having to play catch-up and make these last-man challenges or picking up 2 yellows. It's not actually like Chelsea are a disgustingly nasty team. They're not like, going around elbowing.
I don't think that either. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And so actually...
It's reckless challenges.
Exactly, which they're forced to make.
Last-ditch challenges.
Which they're forced to make, Mark. Last-ditch. Cucurella's a great player, but if he's caught out, he's not caught out. It's the midfield's caught out, which means now he's on his back foot and has to make a challenge he doesn't want to make. Right? That's what's costing you, and that is a coaching issue. And that will continue until we see what Rossiniar is really made of, I think. Because that for me is a coaching issue. There's no malice in a lot of these challenges.
No, I agree. I know that you hate Rossiniar. I mean, we appear on
strong word. I don't hate him.
You just love to fucking throw.
I take the piss out of him.
The last thing before we jumped off this, bro. The last thing before we jumped. Okay, fine. You jumped because you were just like, see you later, guys. Bye. Liam Rossiniar shit. It's like, I know it's a joke thing and it's funny, but I know that all types of jokes come from some type of all jokes comes from somewhere. Some type of truth.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your opinion then of Liam Rossiniar? How did you feel when Chelsea appointed this manager, and how do you think he's done so far, and why don't you rate him?
I feel how Judge Mo felt. Look, I need to look more in depth, right, at his body of work, but I felt how Judge Mo put it was good. It's like you hired a PE teacher. This guy's like saying some motivational crap in the media, which has now given him that nickname, LinkedIn Liam. He reminds me of he just reminds me of David Brent from The Office, which is sounds like the worst thing you can be, because he was the worst manager, David Brent, in terms of leading an office, and that's where I kind of see Rossiniar. I wouldn't be surprised if I walked into an office and saw Liam Rossiniar as the manager and him coming out with these cringy quotes. So it's actually a perception thing. But what I should actually do, Mark, is I should do my job properly and better. And you're right to call it out, because if we look at Rossiniar, we should really be judging him, not what he says in the media and how he, says some things and acts a little bit. We've got to be judging him on his results. And up until the last two games, Leeds and Burnley, albeit you should have, those are games you've got to be winning. He had a good run outside of losing a couple of games to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. A very good run in the Premier League. I think he won his first 5 or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly. And actually, he hasn't lost a game in the Premier League, right? So far so good. He started well. He has started well. But because the body of work is not there for me to judge him wholly on, because we're judging him on a handful of games, I then resort to looking at everything else about him and thinking, this guy's a caricature. What will tell us is these next few games, Mark, which let's rattle through them. Now's as good a time as any. After
Arsenal. You go. Go on.
Arsenal.
Let's hear it.
Well, you tell me, are you beating Arsenal?
No, I don't care how. Also, it's not an Arsenal pod, but Arsenal. Hey, we can go into that. I'm not so confident about them. I already know how I feel about the second half. You start to drop off, start to park the bus. That game against Wolves, bro, you were so deep. The last 10, 15 minutes, you were freaking scared.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But but still, Arsenal will still be at home. Chelsea haven't got a game for another week. But we've just drawn against Burnley. That has deflated the squad. Are we going to be beating them? If I'm putting money on it, no. Then we've got, after that, Wednesday the 4th, Aston Villa
3
away.
Days, in 3 days, back to back.
3 days.
In 6 days, you go away. Yeah, after coming off from a draw. But the problem is...
No, that's not true.
You've got Wrexham in the FA Cup. You've got Wrexham in the FA Cup.
And then you said away. Then we've got Chelsea against Newcastle. That's at home.
No. What I'm saying is...
We've got Everton.
You've got Arsenal away, followed by Villa away 3 days later, followed by Wrexham away 3 days later. And then you've got the week later, you've got Newcastle at home. And then you've got Everton away. And then you've got City.
Not worried about that.
And then you've got United. Oh, man. Oh, this is horrendous. And then it's worse than I remembered it, Mark. Then you got Brighton away, Forest, then you got Liverpool away, then you got Spurs, and you got Sunderland away. Listen, we're going to see what Rossiniar's made of. I'll quickly just speak on the next couple of games. I think you're doing well if you come away with 1 win from your next 3 Premier League games against Arsenal away, Villa away, and Newcastle at home. I think maybe you beat Newcastle at home, but I think you're doing well if you come away with one win from that.
You don't think that will be considering how Aston Villa are? You don't think we'll beat Aston Villa because we're going away?
Yeah, the thing is, I think if you were playing Villa first and then us midweek, I think you'd beat Villa. But because you've got to travel to Arsenal and then 3 days later again you're away to Villa, it's not a long travel, but it's the fact that you've then got back-to-back away games in 3 days. It's an interesting one. I think you could easily pick up draws at Arsenal and Villa. You could do, but I don't think you win either of those games. What do you think?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate to agree with you. I don't like agreeing with you. You're totally right. You're right. Look, it's crunch time. There's no messing around now. Chelsea needs to make Champions League football. Guys, let us know in the comments, what do you think?
No, Mark,
how do you think Chelsea's season?
Mark, are you going to make Champions League? That was my one question to you to wrap this pod up. Are you going to make... Mark, you're right now. I just want to tell you that the league table, you're 3 points ahead of Liverpool. You're level on points with United. Both of them have a game in hand. Brentford are down 5 points behind you, and Villa are 6 points ahead of you. Are you making Champions League Yes or no? Tell us why, then wrap it up.
No, I don't think we're going to make it. I think that
you don't think we're going to make it?
No, I don't think we're going to make it. No, I don't think we're going to make it. Well, bro, this is my opinion. I just don't think that's just because I'm a Chelsea supporter. It doesn't mean that I'm blind. I can see that the run that we have coming up, we've just said it, is disgusting. And I think that we're going to drop a lot of points. I don't think that our competitors, Liverpool, Aston Villa, I don't think that their running is as hard. I think they'll be able to get a little bit more consistent. Yeah, Liverpool. Okay, fair enough. Chelsea's run is just ridiculous. I think that's a bigger point that we need to consider. I don't think we are going to make Champions League.
You did think we were a couple of weeks ago, but that was based. Do you remember Magic Mo asked you as well? And Mo was like, "You're going to win all your games in February." And what have you done? The reason why you're not going to make it is because what you've done against dropping points at Leeds and dropping points at Burnley.
Of course. It's going to change. Look, my opinion is going to change. Yeah. Right? The beginning of the season, we all thought Liverpool were going to win it.
We gave you maximum points in those. Yeah. You should have 4 more points, which would then...
But we don't.
Exactly, which is why you would then be justified in saying, yeah, Neil, we're going to make Champions League because you would have had 4 more points. But now,
exactly.
The landscape
but
has
that's not how
so
it is.
Fair. Yeah,
exactly. So now my opinion has changed.
No, I'm not criticizing.
Which is fair. And this is what happens.
You're right to do so.
I'm being honest. I don't think Chelsea are going to make Champions League, and I don't know. I think that if that happens, Liam Rossiniar is gone. Who's Chelsea going to sign? Who are they going to get as a manager? No top manager. Going to have to get another roughneck off the street. Or a little, I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
we'll stick with Rossiniar.
I don't think we're going to make it. Like you said, we'll have to see. I mean, we're going to drop points, obviously, but I want to see how we play as well. I want to see if we have enough heart and drive and motivation to go and actually attack and win games. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't win everything, but a lot of it depends on how we play for me. Because under Maresca, a lot of the times they felt that they just didn't want to play for him. They were, there's a little slide digs here and there. He was too controlling. Players like Cole Palmer don't feel like they play their best under him. And that's proof. Like, look at the PSG afterwards. He was like, the World Cup final. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to play so rigid. I just needed to play my game. He took the game by the scruff of the neck, and he single-handedly won the game. And I think that's the good thing about Liam Rossiniar. He's going to give the players the ability to express themselves. It's not going to be so confined, as I did say earlier. But I don't think we're going to make it.
It's going to be important for Rossiniar in these big games that you go into for him not to come off the back of just getting an absolute hiding in one of them. And that's going to be really important. If he can keep things tight and just muddle his way through. But that's the problem. I do envisage someone at some point is going to spank him and spank you boys. And I don't know who it's going to be. Yeah. Could be City, could be, I don't know. But he needs to avoid that. That's going to cost him his job if it does happen.
Yeah, look, it's now for me, because I think that this season is the worst Premier League season. I don't like the way that the football is. I don't like how teams are setting up. I think that everyone's so inconsistent. There hasn't been for me, it doesn't feel like there is a true winner. I don't think like Arsenal deserve to win. I don't think City deserve to win. But now for Chelsea, it's very interesting on just Chelsea's perspective about how the rest of the season pans out. So make sure you guys subscribe, because we're going to be delving into more reviews of the games of the seasons and stuff like this as we go along. Let us know in the comments, what do you think? Do you agree with us? I mean, why do you think Chelsea are so inconsistent? And ultimately, do you think that we will make Champions League? Let us know in the comments down below. Like the video if you like this type of content. Click this video right here for our next one, and we'll see you lot in there. Thank you for watching, guys.